Welcome everyone. My name is Alessandro Deserti. I'm currently director of the master program in furniture design and at the same time teacher and researcher at the Politecnico di Milano, where I'm currently head of the Department of Design. I'm here for a short introduction of the master program in furniture design delivered by our POLI.design consortium. Let me share the screen so that I can briefly illustrate the program. Okay, there we are. Well, first of all, as you may see, next edition is going to be the fourth one. So we have almost completed 2 years of experience with this master program, and there's an ongoing third edition, and we're going to have this fourth edition. So this is an already well-established program where we have a good track record, both in students participating in the program and in the kind of results that we achieve with the program itself. The program has a title and a subtitle. The subtitle is Learning from the Italian Experience. It is, in fact, as you will see, our core focus, the idea of training furniture designers with a view of the experience that we developed in Italy, and specifically, I would say here in Milan. We would like to let's say, give shape to new kind of designers that are aware of new forms, new modes of relationship between advanced models of manufacturing, those that are characterizing the most relevant international furniture companies, and new forms of knowledge that are relevant for design. In particular, soft knowledge that is connected with managing brands, with marketing products, and understanding the ways in which products are not only designed, but also manufactured and brought to international markets. So the professional outcomes that we have in terms of professional figures are, let's say, in between the management of innovation and the management of brand within furniture companies and the management of product design activities, or else product designers, strategic designers, and designers that could possibly play a role in between product design and brand design. The structure of the program reflects these aims and ambition because we organize the master around 4 modules, and each module contains a number of courses. The first module is meant to introduce the Italian way to furniture design, giving an understanding of the industry, on the relationship between designers and companies, but also providing grounding knowledge about technologies, materials, history of design, and specifically furniture design in Italy, and providing grounding technical knowledge, in particular in terms of 3D modeling and rendering. So the first module is dedicated to provide students with grounding knowledge. The second module, which is also the biggest one in terms of number of courses, is dedicated to product design and engineering. We organized it to provide an understanding of the different phases of design, and specifically furniture design, starting from ideation and contextualization of products to new product development, going towards engineering, towards exploring issues that are bound to the manufacturability of products, and finally dedicating time to colors, finishing, and materials, which have become over the last year a quite relevant issue for companies operating in different sectors, and again, specifically here in the furniture sector. There's one module which corresponds in this case to one specific course that is dedicated to brand design and direction. So a module that is more dedicated to providing students with an understanding of the strategies that stand behind the development of new products and new product portfolios. And finally, a module that is dedicated to, let's say, bringing products to the market and communicating the products. In particular, with a view to the more recent developments in the furniture industry, or else to new channels that are digital channels, new forms of communication that are digital forms of communication, and new channels for communication that are not only the traditional website, but all the possible media that put through companies and offerings with buyers and end users of products. So this is the overall picture of the program. The program is, let's say, complemented, I would say, as a relevant part of the experience with an internship in companies or in design studios. So the program that I described right away will last for 7 months, starting from November 21 to June 22. And then we will have the possibility, you will have the possibility of an internship, which can last from 2 minimum to 6 maximum months. Again, we have a good experience with the internships in the previous editions, and as you will see, a number of partner companies. The program ends with an individual final project, which leads to the graduation, where students will be able to present a final project for graduating, starting from December 22. The background of the master program in terms of cultural orientation puts together this idea of Italian design culture, which is a very specific and situated knowledge, something that you find in Italy because of a number of cultural reasons. The strong interconnection with the furniture industry, and the strong interconnection that this master has with a number of quality-oriented companies that are able to build value on their situated knowledge, with a view to the internationalization of the furniture market, or else combining these, let's say, local knowledge and perspective with the internationalization of the markets that these companies aim at, and the kind of view that designers working for these companies must necessarily have. In this, the fact that we gather students from all over the world is, I would say, another relevant bit of the experience, because we look at international markets, but we also have internally a number of international students who are actually coming from all over the world. The partner companies are one strong point of the master program. We have some of the most renowned Italian and international furniture brands. These companies provide students with opportunities for internship, but not only this, as these companies are also those companies that bring into our classroom a real life experience. We have real life briefs directly from the companies, and we have professional designers helping students to develop their projects, starting from these briefs from the companies. And the companies are then there to provide feedback on what students have done working in our design courses. The companies are also engaged in our steering committee. We have professionals, relevant professional with experience, but we also have people that come straight from the industry, and we built this program together with them in close connection with some of the courses and some of the modules and the topics that were directly suggested by the companies. For example, this idea of mixing the tradition of furniture design with intangibles, with the necessity of understanding digital channels comes straight from this discourse that we had with the companies and with our steering committee. As for the left side of the scheme, I already introduced myself. I'm the director of the master. Francesco Zurlo is also president of POLI.design, is co-director of the master program. We have Elisa Story, who had relevant experience in the industry as coordinator. And we have a long-trained and experienced designers, John Bennett, as projects coordinator. And Anna, who is here with me, is a teacher coordinator and provides support for students before and during the program. And after, I would also say, the program. Some images to see things that we have done with the students in the previous editions. The master is complemented with a number of small side courses which I haven't introduced. Visits to companies to gain again real life knowledge directly from the companies, visits to a number of showrooms, which are not only visits, simple visits. Let's say we have people from companies that explain to students how things are done, and also what is behind the scenes, let's say. Our teaching modules with collaborative activities among students and between students and professional teachers or professionals that become teachers for us. A few hands-on activities in our workshops, and finally the kind of things the students do in those courses that I have illustrated. We have projects typically realized in teams, normally teams of 3 students that work together for projects. So they have the possibility of collaborating and exchanging experience and ideas, and also they are trained in group work, in leadership, and in a number of transversal competencies while doing this. And we have individual final projects, those projects that students develop at the end of the program to be presented for their thesis and graduation. And these are some examples of these projects. I'm not sure if I have to pass word to you, Anna, or if I should do this part.
As you prefer, Alessandro. If you want, I can explain this part. So if you want to take part to the selection.
Maybe better, because you're also typically managing it.
No problem.
More experienced than me with this part.
Yes, if you want to take part to the selection of this master program, you have to fill out the admission form that you find on the POLI.design website. I will put the link in the chat after in a few minutes. And you have to upload by the beginning of September 2021 curriculum vitae, motivation letter, portfolio, bachelor degree, university transcript, and the ID card or passport. As you can see, the participation fee is 14,000 euros. The total cost of the master is 14,000 euro and 500. If you fill out the admission form before the middle of May, specific the 17th of May, you can be taken in consideration to the for the partial exemption of the 25%. You have to, as I told you before, submit the application and then submit a formal written request to my email address or to the general one as formazione@polidesign.net. I put in the chat the link to our website.
Perfect. And I can't see the whole chat as I just see the one for the panelists as far as I see. But I would like to say to all that if you have any issue, question, curiosity, you can put that in the chat, and Anna will be able to directly reply, or maybe put the question so that I can reply.
Exactly.
So I would leave some time for you to ask questions.
Maybe Alessandro, you can mention the fact that we want to start the lesson in presence from the beginning of November. That it's usually a question that I used to reply really often in this previous month.
Yes, but it's because of the uncertain times we are running through, of course. I'm not saying anymore that we hope. I am saying that as we already have students in presence now, we are confident we will have students in presence in November, of course. So we definitely aim at having this program delivered in presence.
We have a question.
I will stop sharing if you don't mind, so you can see me better.
As you prefer. We have one question. Ruhia asks if it's possible after the master program for the students to exhibit the products in Milano Design Week.
So far, we didn't have an agreement with them, even though we have discussed it. I'm not sure what's going to happen for next edition because we were, by the way, we have all the organizers of the fair in our scientific committee. But when we kicked off the discussion, the pandemic hit us. For this year, we're going to have, they just confirmed the exhibition in September. And I'm not sure what's going to happen in next edition, because if they go for the, let's say, normal exhibition time, that would be April. So before we actually conclude the program. But this could be done the year after, probably.
Thank you. If you have other questions, you can, thank you. Thanks you. If you have other questions, please feel free to write in the chat. So our director can reply.
Okay, I don't see any more questions. Now I see, by the way, I see the chat, Anna.
No problem.
Probably it's a matter of sharing or not sharing the presentation.
Yes. If you share a presentation, you are not able to see the chat.
Did the school help us find the internship? Or yes, in this case, I can start, and then maybe you can add to this. Yes, we do have a quite intensive activity for the internship of our students. We have a very solid background in terms of relationship with companies and studios, to the point that even during the pandemic, we could provide students with internships in presence in most cases, and in some cases, more due to the fact that students couldn't be here, also at distance. But Anna, you can add to this in case we have a structured program.
Yes, we usually organize individual meeting with the students more or less in May usually. We organize, as I told, individual interview with the students. The Professor Elisa Story is in charge of this part because she has a really strong relationship with companies and studios. So during this individual meeting, we decide with her and with the students if it's better for the students to start an internship in a studio or in a company. Depends obviously on the expectation of the students and also the capability of the students. So I can confirm that also during the previous edition, so in the last month of 2020, our students had the possibility to do, in some cases, more than one internship. So the first one is obviously the mandatory one, and the second is an extra. But we had this kind of possibility. The question related to the final project, if it's related or not to the internship.
Sometimes students have NDAs. I mean, they can possibly do something with the company or with the design studio, but that can't that can be shown because of a non-disclosure agreement. So we sometimes had this, more frequently not, because of the fact that when you do something with a company, they're doing it because they want to get to market with that. So it cannot be shared and cannot become the final project of the student. There's another question as far as I see. Face-to-face lesson or online lessons because of the pandemic. As I said, we do want to have this master program in presence. Of course, for now we have all classrooms equipped for delivering at distance teaching, but we do want this master to be in presence. So potentially we can do this, but I would say that this will happen more in terms of backup for emergency or something like that, than as an intention to deliver an online course.
If I can add, because part of the master is to live in Milan and to live the experience of living here. Also because with the Lisa story, you will visit, as Professor mentioned before during his presentation, many showrooms, studio companies, and it's quite impossible to give the students online this kind of real experience on field. So also living in Milan, it's really part of our master program, if we can say.
Yes, we used to. Now probably and hopefully we will be back to that after the pandemic, to have every day a number of events related to furniture and design more broadly in the city. And of course, being here makes a difference, particularly for a course that aim at providing not only traditional training, but also cultural experience.
We have a question, Sergio writing that he is already working on a furniture company for several years. It is possible to validate as an internship, or it's necessary to make an internship on the concorrenza?
No, it's possible. Again, here also we had previous experience. Students coming from a fairly large multinational company. In this case, they actually wanted to have another experience with a competitor. We arranged this, but of course we can also validate the professional experience that someone already has. This depends more on the intention of the students, I would say.
Yes, exactly. Ishita asked, I would like to know the probability for international students to get placed in an Italian company after the program.
Well, for now we have data. We are getting to the 4th edition, but you have to consider that the students of the second are now finishing, basically. Also because the second edition started a little bit later, and the data that we have is reassuring in this perspective. as we have, for example, one student from Lebanon who's now working at Magis. We have other students that are working in other Italian companies, such as Flexform, for example, an Italian student who is working for a big Chinese brand named Kuka. We have others that are working in professional offices that are primarily focused on furniture. For example, one working at Marcel Wanders in the Netherlands. And we have another Italian student who's working at Roche-Beaubois in London for contract design and others. So I would say yes, of course, this depends on opportunities and capacities of the single students. You cannot say that everyone will be able to do this.
In fact, it depends also if the students from abroad want to stay longer in Italy. And if I can suggest, if you learn Italian, if you know a little bit of Italian, if you're able to understand, follow, for example, a meeting in Italian could be really a plus in a company. Respect to the a studio, because in a design studio, the environment is more multinational. In a company, could be difficult to speak maybe in English with all the employees. So if you know Italian, could be easy to
One thing that we could add, Anna, is that we are also providing training for Italian for international students as a side course, which is done beyond the nominal hours of the master program. Well, the kind of knowledge the students might have of Italian starting from that also depends on how they train, interact with others, etc. Of course.
Yeah. Yes, because it's a basic course. Depends also by the level, the starting level of the entire class. But usually it's not so an amount of hours. It's not sufficient. This course to learn Italian could be help. What software do we use for 3D?
We have this 3D modeling course. I don't remember the 3D modeling.
We use Rhino.
I think, as far as I remember, for modeling, Rhino.
Yes, Rhino and Blu-ray for Rhino.
Okay, and the plugin for rendering. Plus, the teacher also trains students for other side plugins for specific things. For example, when you have to render textiles, etc., and then there are specific plugins that they use. I would like to thank all for being here with us today. Hope to see you in the selections. And hopefully at the beginning of this master program.
Yes, we hope to see you in November in our class. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Bye. Thank you.